Good evening, Boils and Ghouls. We're thrilled you decided to tune into our fabulous 50th episode. We're celebrating 2 years of fun, and since we're possessed by the Halloween spirit, we thought it'd be fun to host a party. But not just any party. So drop what you're doing and check out our Monster Mash. It's a graveyard smash. And this is Wayback Attack.
Welcome to Wayback Attack. My name is Brian Grantham, and sitting across the graveyard of destiny is Preston Burt. Preston, are you ready for Samhain?
I am more than ready for Samhain, but I think you got my name wrong. Tonight it's Frank.
Frank.
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess I'm just ghoulish Brian.
The Ghoul of Destiny. No. I'm just really in the Halloween spirit. I actually had this get up on for our little community trunk or treat event earlier today. So I was like, hey, we're recording a podcast tonight. Let's pull the old Frankenstein head out and get a good use out of it.
I thought you were going to say I just had this costume on just hanging out in the house.
Well, I mean, you know,
raking
who doesn't?
leaves. So, how you been? What have you been up to?
Oh, I've been great, man. I've been busy eating some pizza with my friend.
Mm-hmm.
We went and had some fun times at vintage styled Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut Classic.
Pizza Hut Classic. And made a video about that. And like I said, been gearing up for Halloween. I've got all the decorations out. We did our community trunk or treat. And just putting the finishing touches on Retrofied, which is now out and available. Retrofied issue number 4.
Yes.
So you contributed to that. And I hope people can check that out. Speaking of, there is a 100% free article out about the frightening females behind the iconic Point Horror young adult series.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm only pitching it on this podcast because, one, Retrofied 4 is out, but also it's the spooky season. If you want to,
Yes.
You know, if you were a fan of those spooky books growing up, it's great to learn about those from the authors themselves. So. And
it's out now digitally.
It's out now digitally, and you can put in a pre-order, and the print magazine will be shipping in middle of November, probably.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. Those magazines are so awesome. I love getting mine every month.
Well,
so
thanks, man. What have you been up to?
Oh man, I my back is feeling better today, but I rearranged the basement.
And it looks great, by the way.
Well, thank you. We got a new couch upstairs that has like motorized reclining seats, USB ports on each side, so you can plug your phone in. And so part of the deal that Paige and I have always had was she's wanted a kitten forever, and I said, you can't have a kitten because I don't want it messing up my couch. I got an awesome red leather couch, and I don't want it messing up the couch. And so one day we were out and we were like, hey, let's just stop by this furniture store and just see what they got. And she was like, I think I'm gonna buy this couch. And I was like, cool, I like it. It's comfortable. Because the other couch is not the most comfortable couch to lounge around in. It is for one person because it's like one of those L-shaped couches. But it's not very deep, and so you can't just relax. And so these other ones are so comfortable. And then once she did it, she was like, so I can get a cat now, right? Because it's my couch. And I was like, I guess so. So we got a brand new kitten who is hell on paws. He's just tearing everything up.
He's cute as can be, though.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I heard that you moved that couch down the stairs by yourself.
Yep, I moved it down to the basement. All you need is a dolly.
That's insane, man.
And, you know, the couch wasn't what hurt my back. It was sliding the pinball machines down 3 feet so that I had extra room for the entertainment center that I built. So,
you're a beast.
Yeah.
You're a beast. Well, you know, it looks great down there. You're going to have a party soon, I think. But for now, we're having a Monster Mash party. And I gotta explain my train of thought for this episode. So we were trying to think of like, what's a good 50th episode to do? Like, what's a spectacular show we can have? And then I'm like, you know, there's only so many times you can do a Halloween-themed episode and it be relevant. So we got to take advantage of that. But then I remembered, guys, that it's the 50th anniversary of the Monster cereals. And even though I could never find one, they put out a special Monster Mash edition cereal.
Oh, I got one.
You do?
Yeah.
Bro.
You should have said something.
Hook a guy up. I didn't know.
Oh, well, I ate it all. It was delicious. And then I broke down the box and I have it saved right there. Right
oh my gosh.
Door, so.
Well, maybe we'll have to add it to the mix later. But yeah, so I was able to find the 3 originals and I've got those here. But anyway, on the box, they are the 50th anniversary edition. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. We got Monster Mash. It's the 50th anniversary. And then I also, this week, received something I bought off of a cereal box collectors group. It is not a cereal box. It is a unused 1993 promo piece, a display standee countertop display for the Doritos and Pepsi Universal Monsters promotion, which, it was a great promotion. They were everywhere, all kinds of things. They had the Invisible Man, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, the whole what, no dip, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But no dip?
Yeah. So I'm like, let's take advantage of this Monster Mash concept and talk about some of our favorite monsters. But the rule is you can't talk about the regular monsters. Like, look, Frankenstein, been done.
Yeah.
Dracula, done.
Dead.
Ghosts, for the most part, done. We may have some inventive ones here, but who would we invite to our Monster Mash party? What are some great underrated monsters that we'd like to talk about from the past? So, thank you for agreeing to to my plans and giving me an opportunity to show off all this cool stuff.
Man, those standees. So I was gonna do my friend Matt a solid and buy him the Elvira werewolf standee.
Oh, I bet it was like $500.
Oh no,
crazy.
dude, it's in the tens of thousands.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is ridiculous.
I just finished reading Elvira's autobiography.
Yeah, how was it?
And it's really cool. And she talked about some of those promotions with Coors and with all that stuff. And it was, some of it's a little dark, man. She had a rough go of it at times.
She's the mistress of the dark.
I
right?
know, so. But yeah, it was a good read. If you like Elvira, if you like autobiographies, it's fun, fast.
When was her? Do you know when her last one was? Because this is her second autobiography.
Oh, is it?
I don't know.
This one's called Cruelly Yours, Elvira.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't too long ago. Like, part of me was like, when this one was coming out, I was like, I feel like she just did one. But that could also just be me getting older and feeling like 10 years is not a long time.
Oh yeah, you're totally old, bro.
Yeah, I feel it. And my ghoulish bones.
Oh wow! Look, we have a special guest sit-in host. I don't have a name for him. I remember we call him Nobody.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you remember Craig Ferguson had Jeff, the co-host skeleton that was animatronic? It was built by Grant Imahara. Do you remember that guy?
Is he the guy from The Office?
No, no.
Who is this?
Craig Ferguson, the Late Show host.
Okay,
the Scottish guy.
Yes.
Oh, anyway, it was fun. So we've got our own little co-host here. He's just going to be joining us and an excuse to use my skeleton.
Who's Daryl from The Office?
That's Craig Robinson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Good. Yes, I got a name right.
Victory.
Just the wrong body.
All right. So we mentioned at the top of the show, but also want to promote a video we made. Speaking of parties, what goes good with parties? Pizza.
Yes.
So we're mixing things up with our 50th episode. We've been doing this for 2 years now.
Gosh, time flies.
It does. And we're going to be changing some things that we do. And one of those things is that we're going to be trying to make some adventure videos and sharing those on YouTube. So in addition to just the regular podcast that we have, the video edition that you may be watching or the audio edition that you may be listening to right now, we're going to be doing some exclusive video content on our YouTube channel, and the first of which is our trip to visit Pizza Hut Classic. Now, we don't want to spoil anything, but Brian, real quick, what's over the top view? It's
exactly what you remember, right?
Yep.
Just newer TVs, no arcade games.
Right.
I'm never going to let it live down.
Yep.
And the one that we went to did not have the takeout window next to where the arcade games were.
Right.
So.
Right. But it was funny. I posted just a picture on social media of the tablecloth, the little holder with the Parmesan and stuff. And then you could see the plastic red cup, and I just said, where am I? And I'm serious, like within a minute I had 3 people saying Pizza Hut. Did you time travel? All that stuff. It was great. So we got some good video of that. Check that out on our YouTube channel, and look for more fun in the future. But for now, let's get on with our Monster Mash.
There is a passageway to the most evil place you can imagine. A gate behind which the demons wait to take back what was once theirs.
You mean you guys are serious about that demon stuff?
Pray, it's not too late. A gate, rated PG-13, now playing at a theater near you.
So I don't know if you recognize that right off the top. It's a favorite of some. For others, it's completely missed their radar. But I put down here as my first pick for Monster Mash, the demons from The Gate.
Oh my God, dude. The Gate is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I remember specifically, I was in 2nd grade when I watched it. And I watched it at one of my friends' houses that lived on my street. And it terrified me. It was so good. And I think it may have been 2 Halloweens ago. It may have been last year. But my kids wanted to watch scary movies. And so The Gate was actually one of the ones that me and my oldest daughter watched after I made them watch Nightmare on Elm Street. And my youngest daughter did not want to watch scary movies anymore. So
I remember this. It's crazy that this one missed my radar growing up. I didn't watch it. I guess it didn't get good reviews. And so when I started watching scary movies like Friday the 13th and Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. I want to say Nightmare Before Christmas so bad. My brain is not working tonight.
Tim Burton's ruined it all.
I know. When I got into the slashers and those classic, franchises, I didn't see this one. But when the Vestron video Blu-rays came out from Lionsgate a few years ago, I got sent a copy of The Gate to watch, and it was great.
Yeah.
And the reason I brought it up tonight is because I actually showed it to my kids for the first time this week. We were looking for a spooky movie to watch on a Saturday night, and we watched The Gate, and it was funny. We kind of had our own little MST3K moments. It was not just sitting there staring at the screen rapt with attention and fear and fright. No, it was comments and laughs, and it's great. So
Steven Dorff at his finest.
He did. He was at his finest. He was, 12, 13, something like that? All right, so very quick synopsis. It's a favorite of yours. Brian, why don't you give a quick synopsis of the movie?
Sure.
And I can fill it out if you need me to, for anybody who hasn't seen it yet.
All right, well, Steven Dorff is this everyday regular kid, right? And he has a best friend who does his mom die? No, she just left.
The parents went on like vacation.
No, his friend's mom.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so she died, and he went to like a dark place and started listening to metal and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And so he has a real bad attitude.
The gateway to the devil.
Yeah. And so then the kid's really into model rockets, and so he shoots off a model rocket. He's been building this one forever. And then the parents go on vacation. The dog dies. They bury the dog in this where they found this geode in the backyard
because a tree collapsed at the very first of the movie, and he had this dream. And
what was the trees in the 80s in horror movies?
So the reason I had Brian explain this is because this movie is all over the place. I tried to type up a little synopsis of the movie. Go read it on Wikipedia if you haven't. It's crazy. It's insane. But so this kid's backyard opens up a portal to hell. All right. That's what you need to know. And in it are these little demons that are about 2 feet tall. But they are able to morph into different things. They're able to combine with one another. And they're puppets, but then they also work with claymation. And so they're really cool. One of the best scenes in the movie, I forget if it was in the trailer or not, is a full figure falls flat. Boof, and then right when it hits the ground, it dispels into all of these little demons, and they're kind of cute.
Oh, dude, they're
They're
best.
ugly, but they're cute.
There's somebody who they're sold out now, but there's like this random webpage I found where someone made life-size models of them, and they're only like $200. And I was always like, oh, I can't. I'm gonna buy it like when I have some money, like when I get paid Friday or whatever, I'm gonna buy this. And then it's something that I don't need, and so I don't think about. And then like I come up with other things like, oh, I could get this for the show, or I need this, or whatever. But now they're sold out. I'm never gonna get them, so that bums me out. But they are so iconic. They're one of the iconic monsters of the 80s.
Well, I wanted to invite these guys to my Monster Mash party because I thought, one, it's bang for your buck because you don't just get one. You always get a crew of minions. And they're cute and they're tiny. And they could be so helpful and help serve hors d'oeuvres. They could go around and just entertain everybody. And then when they want to, they can just form up into one person or one entity and, hold a conversation or something. So,
Sure.
Versatility. This is my versatility crew with the demons from the gate. I forgot to mention this movie came out in 1987. It was shot on a $6 million budget and made $13.5 million gross. So pretty good. They actually made a sequel, which I still haven't seen, but I do have the Blu-ray.
Oh, nice. I've never seen the sequel.
Oh, it picks up with the Hard Rock kid, his friend, Lewis. No, whatever his friend's name is. Anyway.
Sounds about right. I do want to say also, somebody, my friend Matt that I was talking about earlier, he sent me a link to this guy, Justin Ishmael, justinismail.com. He's selling officially licensed 3-inch minifigures of the demons right now.
Very cool.
So if they're still in stock, they look super cool. I'll show a picture of one if you want to see what they look like. But but yeah, these demons, that way you can have one for your house, even though they're too small to be life size. But
but I will go and mention what Brian did with his kids and with mine is that this is a really good entry as a gateway into horror movies. It's rated PG-13. There are a couple of words, I think. One of them is the F slur that's no longer in vogue, and rightfully so. So just be aware of that. But mostly it's just kind of like rated that for extreme scenes of horror of like there was like a zombie figure, there's a dead dog, I mean stuff like that.
There's a giant demon, an eyeball in the hand.
Yeah. So but all that said, if you're looking to get your kids into horror movies, this is a good first step because honestly when you watch it now it's kind of hokey. So but it's all in great fun. All right, that's my entry for the Monster Mash with demon monsters. What do you got, Brian?
All right. So my next person is not quite as cute and lovable as the other ones. You could just say it's a fluke. All right, so that is Fluke Man. Oh my gosh, Preston, are you familiar with this episode of The X-Files?
Dude, no. I know the X-Files. I've seen some X-Files. I was not a devotee. And I know the Smoking Man.
Yeah.
I don't know Fluke Man.
Dude, Fluke Man was awesome. So, like, when I was younger, I watched a lot of X-Files. I don't have it over here. I have like one of those X-Files VHS tapes that has like one of the official ones that has like 2 or 3 episodes on. But one of the only like main villains that I recall, aside from the whole alien thing with Mulder, is Fluke Man. He was like one of the best monsters for the show. And basically he's this like all white, like gross slimy guy that like lives in the sewers. He's got this big round red mouth with like these like teeth and
I think I've seen a picture of him. Yeah.
He burns an image into your head, that's for sure. So basically he was
I do know who you're talking about.
Genetic mutant. I think the Russians had something to do with mutating a human, and the DNA of different roundworms and that kind of thing. And he was killing people in New Jersey and wound up washing ashore in Martha's Vineyard. And that's how they found Fluke Man.
Oh my gosh, he looks like a really good like Fluke Man looks like somebody that would be part of a local urban legend, like a Mothman,
Sure.
or I can't even think right now, but like that level of creep.
Yeah. And the cool thing about it too is like, he while yes, he was still gross, it could be an urban legend thing because he still has the shape of a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it would be easy to be like, oh, here comes the Fluke Man, and it'd be easy to be scared of.
Oh, he kind of looks like that guy that got dipped in the acid at RoboCop as he's walking by. Kill me! Before he gets exploded by the car.
Yeah, or help me, I think is what he's not kill me. So, what he would do to people is he would bite them and shoot like a flatworm into them when he bit them, and then the larva would like grow inside of them.
Was he in only one episode of X-Files, or was he multiple?
So he is only in, I think, one episode. He was in a comic book because they did a comic series.
Mm-hmm.
He was also in that, and then in like the Blu-rays or whatever for that, there's for X-Files, there's like a special thing where they specifically talk about Fluke Man and how oh god, what was his name that made that show? Chris, that made X-Files. Chris, it's not Carpenter. It's Chris somebody. Anyways, he specifically talked about him.
A fan.
Well, I'm just so bad with names. I feel so bad about it. So Brad Pitt has a thing with faces. He doesn't remember people's faces.
I know.
So I'm like that with names. I just can't remember people's names. So Toby Landala is the makeup and special effects artist that created the Fluke Man costume. And it's just an amazing costume, and I'm so happy that it is a part of the X-Files canon. He first appeared in season 2, episode 2 of X-Files, and that episode is called The Host. So,
the movie Pulp Fiction?
Yes.
They have the Gimp?
Uh-huh.
The Fluke Man looks like what I think the Gimp looks like without his leather garb.
Well, once you unzip the mouth zipper, it's just the red circle comes out of it.
Yikes,
and he's like
all right, this wasn't prep beforehand, so I'm going to talk after I ask you this question. But all right, so Fluke Man, I wouldn't invite him to a party, but he's coming anyway, so he's got to bring a side. What is Fluke Man going to be bringing? You think of that while I tell you.
Good.
While I tell you that I'll have to dig through my VHS tapes because, I got a ton. You saw, not just from my recent hookup, but I have boxes and boxes of VHS tapes, and a lot of them, I got probably a whole box of X-Files VHS tapes recorded from TV with the commercial. So I'll be on the lookout for Fluke Man. What's he bringing?
He is bringing some chips and ranch dip because he's not the most graceful monster. And so I could easily see his like fingers and stuff sliding into the ranch dip. But because he's white, you wouldn't be able to tell when he pulled his hand away. And so it wouldn't cause that big of a faux pas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He worries about appearances.
Yeah.
Good, good call. All right. Well, if I saw Fluke Man, I have to admit that I would probably scream, "Ah!" Just like my next pick. All right. So if you were a kid growing up in the 90s, undoubtedly you watched Nickelodeon, and there is no doubt in my mind that you have at least seen Real Monsters. So this is, of course, a show came out in 1994. It was the 5th Nicktoon that was created, and it was created by the same folks that made Rugrats.
Mm-hmm.
So they got a green light for this show after Rugrats was like the top show for kids in their demographic. And I'm kind of cheating here because, well, I cheated last time because I had the demons, which is more than one. There's, more than, well, there's 3 monsters here, and I can't pick a favorite. And they work together as a team.
Yeah.
But anyway, you got Ickis, Oblina, and Crumb, and they all attended a monster academy of sorts to be able to learn how to scare humans, and so that the monsters can continue to be believed in and continue to exist. So, did you watch this show growing up?
I didn't really watch a lot. It's weird because I was really into Rugrats, and you talk about how it was made by the same people that made the Rugrats show, and it makes sense. And kind of what both these series did was kind of create a look and feel to Nicktoons, right? Because it was similar art style and that kind of thing.
It was, but this was definitely
Darker.
grim and grittier,
Yep.
and kind of more not abstract, but just like it definitely had its own vibe.
Yeah, I did play the Super Nintendo game.
Oh,
so
a must.
Yes,
a must. I forgot to mention it's also the same group made Wild Thornberry. So if you can think of that art style, Rugrats art style, but just like darker and creepier, you get Real Monsters. And I should be specific. Real Monsters. It's 3 A's, 2 H's, 3 exclamation points. It's an exact
what do you think it was about this show that totally inspired and Pixar completely ripped off for Monsters Inc.?
I know. I'm so glad you mentioned it. It's weird how close it is. Because these monsters, they're training to scare. They have tasks they have to do. They have to work as a team. And then they go into the real world. And in this case, the real world is New York. Their academy is under a trash dump in Staten Island. And then they go to New York to scare people. And yeah, I don't know. All I can say, when did Monsters Inc. come out?
It was, I don't know, it had to be like
late 90s?
Yeah. And so here's also part of it. I wonder if it had to do with like some kind of management shifting at Pixar, because Cars, I feel, was the next movie after Monsters Inc. And Cars is a ripoff from Doc Hollywood. And so like I wonder if like because maybe like that team was shifting around, they were just like looking for ideas other places.
Yeah, but it's weird. Like the Doc Hollywood ripoff to Cars, I can get that. But ripping off a cartoon about monsters
with another one
to do a cartoon about monsters is pretty crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they were in development for years ahead of time, but I don't know. The timing looks suspect, guys. It was a 4-season show. Went from 1994 to 1997, and there were 52 episodes. But, all right, so we got the 3 monsters. You got Ickis. He's a little red guy that looks like a rabbit because it's a little homage to the fact that the voice actor was the same voice actor for, what's not Babs Bunny, but the other bunny. Buster Bunny from Tiny Toon Adventures. Same voice actor. And then you got Oblina. She's the black and white shapeshifter that also likes to turn her insides out and scare people. And then you got Crumb, who is the big guy with his eyeballs in his hands and his armpits just flailing out for everybody to see. And he could throw his eyeballs.
Yes.
But his ultimate power was just he stinks really bad.
Yeah.
So
he was my favorite.
Hey, I was about to ask, did you have a favorite?
Yeah, he was the best.
Yeah. I identified more with Ickis because he was so scared and timid and didn't know what to do. But yeah, Crumb's great. So if you had to pick one, I think I would go with Crumb because he seems more like the frat boy party guy. You need like a Chris Farley type character. And while he's not that personality, I think that he could probably do some party tricks.
Yeah.
And have fun.
The only downside is he'd stink it up.
Yeah, maybe you could spray him down with some air freshener.
I mean, I guess some of these people are demons and people living in sewers. So
this party's gonna be lit.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, all right. And I forgot to mention their toenails are currency in their world. I mean, I had to add that. Anyway, that's my pick. Let me know if you guys like Real Monsters. I definitely want to check out that series again. It's so good.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out because I never sat down and like watched a ton of episodes of it. So it'll be something good to like maybe watch with my kids around this time of year. So
Yeah. Well, I heard that it was marketed from anywhere as young as 2 to 11, but that doesn't make sense because it's a little bit scary. I mean, there are some moments of fright, and it was a smarter show, so it kind of appealed to me as a 14-year-old rather than a 2 to 11-year-old. But I liked it.
Check out the big brains on Preston.
Look at this brain. I got to have a big head to hold this big brain. Anyway, all right, your pick.
All right. Well, I have nothing clever to segue between that. So check this out.
From a world of fear and darkness comes a creature so monstrous, no one dares speak its name.
Can't you call it off?
Nothing can call it off. Pumpkinhead, rated R.
Starts Friday, October 14th at the Showcase Cinema.
Pumpkinhead, Pumpkinhead. The only monster on this list that the Misfits did a song about. Yes, sir, Pumpkinhead. Coming to a graveyard near you. So, Preston, are you a fan of the Pumpkinhead?
It pains me to say this, Brian. I have never seen Pumpkinhead.
Oh, my gosh.
I know of the Pumpkinhead, but I've never seen the movie Pumpkinhead.
Oh, dude, it is so good. It tells the tale of Bishop from Aliens. What's his name?
What?
Bishop, the android from Aliens.
Oh, the actor's name?
Yeah.
Lance Henriksen.
Yes, Lance Henriksen and his son they live out in the middle of nowhere. They go to the general store.
They buy a pumpkin.
No.
Oh.
I think they're getting supplies for the farm or something. And these crazy teenage kids come rolling up on their car, and they wind up killing his son. They run him over.
Ooh.
And they're out-of-towners, of course. And he's so distraught that he goes to this like witch in the woods. Now, listen, it's been a very long time since I've seen this film, so a lot of these details could be incorrect.
Brian recaps are the best.
So he goes to this witch and he says, "Can you bring my son back?" And she's like, "There's only one way to do it. You have to call the Pumpkinhead." And so basically, he calls the Pumpkinhead forth. The Pumpkinhead, he marks all the kids as the targets of Pumpkinhead, and Pumpkinhead has to go kill. He's a demon that comes from hell, and he has to kill the things. I think the son comes back, but then Lance Henriksen feels bad because it's obviously not his son, and he then has to put a stop to Pumpkinhead himself. It's an amazing movie.
So his son comes back. He looks like Fluke Man.
Yeah,
he's like, "This is not what I signed up for."
He's like, "You're not
He plants
my
the
boy."
pumpkin seeds, and then the demon goes back to hell.
Yeah, no. The only way to stop Pumpkinhead is to kill the person that called him forward. So I love the Pumpkinhead movie.
Lance Henriksen had to die?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't
Spoilers.
know. Okay. Well, are there sequels to this movie?
There are 4 sequels or 3 sequels. But so I that's what I was gonna say is I love the Pumpkinhead movie. I had no clue there were sequels to this movie, and the sequels kind of changed the story of Pumpkinhead a little bit, gave him different powers sometimes. But basically, you had Pumpkinhead, and then 3 different sequels: Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings, Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ashes, and Pumpkinhead Blood Feud. The first Pumpkinhead movie was actually the directorial debut of Stan Winston.
Oh, wow.
Who also created the creature Pumpkinhead. So of course he created like one of the best creatures for his own movie.
That's so cool.
But yeah, the Pumpkinhead, like kind of like the whole thing with it is.
So how does he kill people?
He just rips
bites
them
them
apart. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's
claws them to death.
Yeah. He's just a demon.
Okay.
But yeah, like you have to like, so the way to get rid of him is you have to kill the person that conjured him. Right. But if you survive Pumpkinhead, the next time he gets summoned, Pumpkinhead picks up where he left off and still comes for you.
Oh,
so
man.
he doesn't like say, "Oh, I'm now
All
doing your
good."
bidding." Yeah, he's like, "I got to finish this job before I start yours." And so Pumpkinhead is forever working. So
wouldn't you be mad if you like summoned him, but then he had to go kill like 50 other dudes who all successfully beat him at his own game? You're like waiting on him. You're like, "Come on and kill my people. What are you doing?"
And see, by then you would probably die from old age, which would then kill Pumpkinhead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Got
I found
him.
the loophole. But yeah, dude, man, Pumpkinhead. I think it's not a huge movie, right? It wasn't I mean, it was pretty popular. I think it's definitely has a cult status.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they made figures. They made a McFarlane figure.
Yeah, and there's no like denying like the character design for Pumpkinhead is amazing. And so
I want to know the conversation that went around with like, what should we call him? I don't know. He kind of looks like a pumpkin. I don't know, Pumpkinhead.
You know, that's probably like the writer's fault.
Uh-huh.
I bet the writer came up with a different design, and Stan Winston went, "No, I don't think so. I think I'm just going to make this thing."
Yeah. I wonder if Pumpkinhead was more like a scarecrow type.
I bet I could see that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Winston was like, "Not for my movie."
Yeah. The writer probably wanted something like a Sleepy Hollow, Headless Horseman thing. So,
which is another movie my family watched this past weekend with my kids. Great intro to horror for the kids.
Yeah, I know that Tim Burton loved shooting Johnny Depp in the face with blood as much as he could in that movie. Like in the special features for the DVD, like there's like a I guess for the special features part, there's someone recording it, and like when he's like hacking at the tree, like Tim Burton is the one with like the blood thing just like squirting him in the
I remember
face.
that scene.
Yeah,
That's so cool. All right, so which of the sequels is the better of the sequels?
I haven't seen any of them.
What?
But I'm going to say that I'm sure none of them compare to the first movie.
Oh, I'm sure. But if I had to choose, I'm going to go with Blood Feud. That sounds like a really good.
Blood Feud, that was the last one. So Blood Feud actually introduced the thing where Pumpkinhead got bigger physically, and stronger.
Do you even lift, bro?
Yeah. Pumpkinhead. I mean, he looks pretty small except for his legs, but yeah, he as he killed, the more things he killed, he got bigger, and then like as you hurt the conjurer, he would get smaller. So I don't know. It's a neat thing, but that's not how it worked in any of the other movies. They were really stretching for it. So
hey, an undersung classic from all accounts.
Yeah, I love it. I think you should watch it. It's not on the Plex server, but I can upload it to it, so that way you can check it out.
I gotta check that out, man. I'm all about it's an 80s movie.
Yep,
I'm all about some 80s horror.
Of course, Lance Henriksen in his prime.
All right. Well, speaking of something that can get small, but then also can get big, is my next pick.
They like to hide. They like to run. They like to play. But most of all, they like to eat.
Dad's all torn up and Mom's got like a harpoon thing in her neck and they're getting bigger.
Critters. They bite. Rated PG-13.
Critters now showing at a theater near you.
All right. Family-friendly horror is the theme for me tonight, and that is Critters, of course. Critters, which is a 1986 movie, and it was the directorial debut of someone you probably don't know the name of, Stephen Herrick.
Okay.
But this guy directed Mighty Ducks. He directed Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, Mr. Holland's Opus, a bunch of great movies. But his first movie was Critters on a $3 million budget. It earned $13 million. And the movie he made after that, what gave him the green light? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And I know you love that movie.
I love that movie. I will have to be the person to say this time that this is a movie I have never seen.
Oh, wow.
I remember like always looking at it in the movie rental store, and there was just something about it. I just like that and Ghoulies like were two movies that I was like, God, these look so cool, but I just never rented for some reason.
All right. So, we're talking monsters here, but Critters, that's my pick. Critters, thank you, are actually not monsters. They're aliens. Okay. So
aliens can be monsters though.
Okay. All right. Well, these dangerous aliens, they're known as Krites, with a K, and they were in a space prison, and they're being transported to a different space prison, but they escape and they come to Earth.
So
rightfully so.
Like Stitch.
Exactly. There's some similarities there.
Disney's ripping everybody off.
Gosh.
I don't believe it.
And some bounty hunters go and try to find them and squash them, but not before they wreak some havoc on the good people of Earth. This movie stars Dee Wallace of E.T. fame, Emmett Bush, Well, I might have messed that one up. And Scott Grimes. Scott Grimes has been in a lot of things like Band of Brothers and stuff. Redheaded guy. He's in the Orville now. Anyway, this was his first movie as a little kid, and it's great, man. It's these little creatures with lots of fur, cute little faces, but really, really, really sharp teeth. Lots of sharp teeth.
You know what's interesting is, since this guy also directed Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, the critters kind of
look like Station.
Yeah, Station from Bogus Journey.
You're right.
So,
man, I wouldn't have made that connection. Look at that. You be the judge, dear viewer and listener. Anyway, so this is a great movie, and the critters are really, really, really cute. Even though they're murderous and they like to eat things, even sticks of dynamite, which make them explode. They're kind of cute, like I said. And that's because they are made by the Kyoto brothers, who you guys might know from like Killer Clowns from Outer Space and a bunch of other stuff. And I got to go see the Kyoto brothers at Dragon Con a couple years ago, and they talked all about the critter stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really cool. I wish I could remember a lot of very cool stories. But one thing I'll say is that, so these were all little puppets, and they had they all did little different things here and there, had maybe a little bit of identifiers like Gremlins, but they were not. This movie was not inspired by Gremlins. It was written before that, apparently. But anyway, one of the things they did mention is that like none of the critters have survived because they were all made of like foam latex rubber.
Yeah.
And that stuff just deteriorates. Yeah. So I don't think they have any original critters left, even though they made, for this movie, they made several. But for Critters 2, which was the direct to, it was the last movie they did in theaters. It had a theatrical release. Critters 2, they formed together to form a giant sphere of critters that would roll down and just like decimate anybody they ran over.
Yeah, I think that was on the cover of the box.
Yeah, that's right. And the Kyoto brothers, that metal sphere is still just like out in the desert somewhere. All the things are off of it, but the sphere it lives.
Man, so many of those cool creatures from that time are just lost to time because, you know, for the longest I wanted an actual gremlin prop, but that's the same thing with them. Like the foam rubber just doesn't last, and so like they just all melt apart and that kind of thing.
Right.
So,
well, even stronger quality rubber like boglins, those all start to disintegrate. They just, you know, the whatever they're made of starts to just go back to its original form, which is like petroleum. So done for. But this one, if you like this one, like I said, it's a little rougher than the Gate probably, but they're honestly they're kind of cute, and it's pretty tame as far as a horror movie goes. And if you like it, there are 3 other ones. There's Critters 1 through 4, that were the original series, and then in 2019 there was both a movie and a TV show, and I can't remember which is which, but Critters Attack, and then Critters: A New Binge. I think that was the TV show, and I think both of those are on Shudder. So if you like that kind of stuff, the more the merrier.
That's cool. I'll have to check it out. Like, do you know if, I guess so, the New Binge is just kind of like a reboot type of deal? Like it's different critters in modern day, maybe?
I have not seen. Okay. So probably.
So I guess I could start with that and see if I like it.
No, you can't start with the newest one. Brian, all right, I'll allow you to skip.
Okay.
You got to watch the original. Okay. Then you can watch whatever you want.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
All right. I appreciate it.
And I'm going to invite the critters to my Monster Mash party because they seem like, you know, they're really, really, really hungry, and they're low to the ground. So if people are eating and, you know, they drop a chip or something, the critters are there to get them. You know, you don't have to worry about a vacuum cleaner after the fact.
You're bringing a lot of tiny people to this party.
Look, they're everybody deserves to have fun.
Okay. Well, you know, it's cool that the critters were made by the Kyoto brothers because my next pick was also created by the Kyoto brothers.
Some night, huh? On this very night, 10 years ago, along this same stretch of road, in a dense fog, just like this, I saw the worst accident I ever seen. There was this sound, like a garbage truck dropped off the Empire State Building.
You know her. You love her. That's Large Marge, baby. Oh my gosh.
Tell them Large Marge sent you.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. As a child, I was the biggest Pee Wee Herman fan. And I would do the dance and impersonations. On my 6th birthday, my ex-stepdad says, Brian, do the voice. And I do Pee Wee Herman.
I used to be able to do an amazing Pee Wee Herman before my voice changed.
Mine wasn't very good.
Mine was spot on.
But, gosh, man, that movie was amazing. And that scene gave so many people nightmares.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it before, but it was such a hard shift from the rest of the movie. It was so unexpected. And I mean, it's claymation, but the transformation was unlike anything you were ever expecting to happen. It was just frightening.
Yes.
I used to be scared to watch that on video. Like, I knew it was coming, and I'd be scared to watch that.
Yeah. So basically, if you haven't seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure, what are you doing?
For real. Stop watching us and go watch that.
His Pee-wee's favorite bicycle goes missing, and he goes on a cross-country adventure to find it and get it back. And along the way, he gets a ride from a truck driver who is named Large Marge, and she tells him this ghost story that winds up being how she died. And then she makes this terrifying face. And there's really not much more to it other than that. But yeah, man,
I can't wait for the 6-part documentary series about Large Marge.
It was I can't I don't think I have her name. It was a role that Large Marge, the lady that played her, she was remembered for that role. She was a big actress and she was in tons of stuff, but everyone remembered her for the Large Marge role because of how memorable that scene was. And so, I'm
looking up her name right now to give her her justice. So let's see, Large Marge. Okay, doesn't say here.
Okay. Well, of course, Pee-wee's Big Adventure was Tim Burton's directorial debut, right? Well, for a movie. Because he had done some other stuff with Disney before that, but
Alice Nunn, found it.
There you go,
Large Marge, Alice Nunn.
And it was the first time Tim Burton worked with Danny Elfman, and they created a masterpiece. And I want to say that that scene is probably one of the most memorable scenes in that entire movie.
Totally. And keeping in my theme of Monster Mash, inviting her to a party. I love that she's a truck driver because that means that she could be on her way home from her route, maybe delivering some Bud, maybe some Coors, maybe some Frito-Lay, maybe some Pepsi. You never know. You don't know with Large Marge. What is she hauling these days? But whatever, it's a little bit can fall off the truck. Yeah. She brings some good munchies.
Well, I figured that we could be riding in the trailer for the party. Wouldn't that be fun? Like, just her tearing around town.
I don't know. She's been known to have a crash here and there, so maybe not the safest option.
You know what? I'm sure that the crew in our party can handle a little crash. So,
all right.
I guess that's it for Large Marge. There's not really much to say about her, but
hey, short and sweet.
Yep.
Hopefully, just like this episode.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe that's the end.
Oh wow, we did it. All right, well, this lends itself, if you guys like this one, it lends itself to maybe a sequel down the road, just like a lot of the movies we've talked about here tonight.
Yeah.
Are there any monsters that should have been invited to our Monster Mash party? What should we be on the lookout for? And we'll maybe do this one next year as well. But yeah, are you having a Halloween party? Any sort of get together? Anything?
I'm not having. I haven't planned one yet. Who knows? I like to do things spur of the moment, and so maybe I will be having a party. So,
well, you're dressed for one. I mean, you're dressed for the occasion.
I mean, we only got 4 days. So.
Hey, you can turn it around. Call Large Marge. Maybe she'll bring up some party gear.
She can just roll up, with the whole crew. So
yeah. Well, we hope that whatever you're doing on Halloween is fun and safe, and we appreciate you checking out our special spooktacular 50th episode. And we look to offer some more. But we are changing up things. Brian and I, we're only going to be doing one regular show a month.
Yep.
We're going to be mixing it up with that video content and doing other fun things. But we've been going hard for 50 episodes and just going to take it a little easier on the show front, but still doing some fun things. But we really appreciate you listening and watching for all these 50 episodes. And thanks for being a fan of the show.
Yeah, and actually, in reality, you get more content out of us, because instead of doing 2-hour-long shows a month, now we'll be doing the 1-hour-long show-ish, and then also, adventure videos and just different deep dives onto different things, but just in shorter form than what the show is. Yeah. So,
and if you like what we do, please do share it around, tell your friends. Word of mouth is the biggest thing for our show and for our podcast. And then it's easy to share a link on YouTube on your social media or wherever you can. Mm-hmm. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. So Preston, where can people find you on the internet?
People can find me at Squared Stiff on Twitter and on Instagram. They can find the show at Wayback_Attack on Twitter as well. Brian, where can they find you?
You can find me at BE Grantham on Twitter.com, and you can email the show at waybackattackshow@gmail.com.
Perfect.
We're doing the show different now than we were doing before, and normally I have it on the screen to where I can read the email address. So having to remember off the top of my head on the fly like that was exciting.
Wow. A new sensation for a new era. So thanks for making it great for 2 years. We look forward to more.
Yep. Hey, we'll see you soon.